What if I told you your ability to get your clients under contract starts well before you even take the clients into a house? Building an A team with the right lenders, with the right inspectors, with the right contractors absolutely has changed my business. I'm so excited to have Nicole Rueth with me today to discuss what an A team does, what her team at the Rueth team of Fairway Independent Mortgage does, and just discuss what we're doing in this crazy market and what she is doing to be creative and get clients under contract and go the extra mile, not only to help the clients succeed and start building wealth through real estate, but for the agents. Just a secret weapon in your pocket is building an A team and taking it to the next level. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Coach Kane here with the Realtor Playbook, giving you the game plan to success in the real estate industry and helping you win at the game of real estate every single day. Let's jump right into Nicole and I discussing building an A team and what it has done for our businesses.
What's up everybody? Welcome to the Realtor Playbook. I have Nicole Rueth here with me today from the Rueth team at Fairway Independent Mortgage. I have a situation. I had a story this weekend. I have a buyer, low down payment, and I was referred this buyer and they had their own lender when they came to me. And I had a conversation about how we could make this buyer look stronger in this market. Absolutely a conversation that I have to have every single time we talk about anything that's going on. This lender told me that he couldn't do anything to make his situation stronger for his client, our client, and eventually told me how many deals he had done and wanted me to use that as collateral to get this offer accepted. So I got to thinking, I called my good friend Nicole, and Nicole preaches about how you have to provide value, how you have to solve the next problem because the problems are ever changing, and I really appreciate that about her. And so let's kind of take this back. I was at a position in my career probably 4 or 5 years ago where I was, doing a decent amount, doing 2 transactions a month, so on. And I was about done with the lender phone calls. Like, hey, can I take you to coffee? I don't want to buy you lunch, but I'll buy you coffee. So let's talk about Agent Ignite. First question is, where did Agent Ignite come from? Why is it a thing? And what is it now?
What is it now, right? Agent Ignite is a monthly education series that we started 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I think there were like 40 people at the first event and like 3 at the second, right? It's like, what is this? Okay. And then we started building from there. And it's all about bringing in speakers and knowledge professionals who could help a real estate agent create their business in a way that made sense for them, whether it was identifying the clients that they wanted to serve, identifying the business track that they wanted to drive. So Agent Ignite is an education series that every single month delivers content that will support you in building your business. Right. And today it's the next big thing. Today, it's massive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, if you saw the next big thing, you know what was going on there. But even with the next big thing, she's continuing to provide value. And this isn't your dry CE content. Right. It's Nicole dropping extreme knowledge on the market, which is honestly the reason why I bought into Agent Ignite and attended for like 25 straight months before the pandemic, before it went Zoom, which was nice. But then, with Zoom, I get distracted and it's a whole thing. So in-person events are amazing. But what we did here, what she did for my business, just with her 45-minute segment, which has also grown to much more on the economics and the actual market and the statistics, is that pesky client or pesky friend that's always like, the market's going to crash. This is what's going on. Like, realtors are con men. They're just trying to get everything done. Nicole took that conversation into me being like, no, it's not, silly, to actually having statistics and facts that back it up. So that immediately changed my business just on the conversation level, which is all of our leads are conversations. People talk about all this lead generation, everything. It's really just conversations. How many conversations can you have in a day? How many can you convert into business relationships? And so that Agent Ignite piece absolutely changed. But that was just the start of Nicole's value drop. As we continued to build a relationship and, she continued to pour into agents, it just made me think like, okay, we're on an island here. in this market, right? We have buyers who maybe don't have the ability to waive an appraisal, or, you know, don't feel comfortable with waiving an inspection and things of that nature. But what can we do to turn the contract upside down is kind of my thought on this. And everyone says, like, oh, you have to have this date, and you have to have this date, and you have to have this date in the contract, and you don't. You don't have to have any dates in the contract.
No.
You know, so except for the closing date, I guess. So if what Nicole has done and her team has done is allow us, along with other industry partners, to turn the contract on its head and basically look at the contract and say, what contingencies can we get ahead of and eliminate? So talk about a couple things that you guys are doing to make that happen for our buyers and how you do it.
Right. So we have a full TBD underwrite where we can send a buyer and all of their paperwork through to the underwriter so that they're fully approved. So not pre-qualified, not pre-approved, but fully approved. So that means you can waive the loan availability deadline. Right? And so if you can waive loan availability deadline and you can waive loan terms deadline, well, really your earnest money is hard based on the loan, but you also have 100% assurity that you're going to get to the closing table. Right. And in fact, we do that. So we add a $15,000 earnest money guarantee on top of waiving the loan availability, telling our clients that we've got your back. You've gone all the way through underwriting so that we know we've got you. We also look at the appraisal. So we try to do waiving the appraisal, which you can do through automated underwriting so that we can remove it from the contract altogether, or you can do the appraisal gap insurance that knows that you can use mortgage insurance to help offset some of that gap if that appraisal comes in low.
Right. And so that's taking two major contingencies out of the contract. Yeah. But the key point here is we have to educate our clients from a real estate perspective, from a lending perspective, and that's absolutely what the Rueth team does. What I do from my perspective is just educate, right? Because if they lose their job, they're still not going to be able to close on the house.
Right.
So some of the risk and some of the stuff falls on the client still at that point, right? Like you have the guarantees and you have this, but if they lose their job, they're still not going to get a loan, and they're probably going to lose their earnest money regardless of the guarantee. I don't know what the fine print reads, but so we have to educate them on these things and not just throw it out there. And then from there, obviously the A team, and Nicole talks a ton about this in her building an investment empire and all the things that she does, still more, another thing that she does to add value. But the A team is really important, and the lending and real estate relationship is super important. But then you have inspectors, and what can you do to get ahead of inspections? Can you write that contract with a 3-day inspection objection to make it stronger, because you can reach out to your inspector on a Saturday night and say, hey man, I might get this contract or this buyer under contract. Can we pencil in a time? And so it's all about building the relationship. And it's not just here, lender, real estate agent. It's inspectors, it's contractors, it's the whole 9 yards. Because if we can get the roofing contractor up there to check out the roof before we even go under contract, then you can be ahead. And again, we're turning the whole contract upside down by doing so. And we're not waiving our clients' rights. We're not putting them in a bad position. We're just doing it before the contract as opposed to after. And obviously you have timelines. Nicole can't tell you have an appraisal waiver if she doesn't have an address to at least run. So that A team is super important. And as an agent, if you feel like you're on an island, you absolutely need to find a lender that's creative. Partner up with an inspector who, you guys scratch each other's backs, take care of each other. Because my inspector's like, dude, like you didn't get it again? I'm like, nope. But then, he knows that he's going to get 3, 4, 5 inspections out of what he's doing to go above and beyond. So if you feel like you're on an island, start with the lender, as that's a huge part, and then build your sphere. Just like you build your sphere of influences with clients, build it with industry professionals that absolutely have the client's best interests in mind. And we'll kind of finish with that because Nicole's why is brings so much power. And so why do you do this? Like, what is your why? From the agent perspective, from the client perspective, like, why are we here standing in this remodeled office with, 40 employees or whatever you got now? Like, why are we here?
So ultimately, the best opportunity to build wealth is in real estate. We know that, right? 75% of the net wealth for the 80% of Americans, if you think about who is in the 80 percentile of wealth, it's most of us. It's not the top 10, top 20. 75% of our net wealth is in our home, our singular home. If I can impact that and you can impact that, we have the power, more power than financial planners or estate advisors. We can change the trajectory of lives. I mean, going all the way back to that first story, that VA buyer who's putting no money down in this market needs more than a lender that's going to tout the fact that he's closed 1,000 loans.
Right.
He needs a lender who's going to think creatively, be able to waive those deadlines and be able to get him into contract. And it's so hard for a govy buyer.
Right.
But those are the ones that we can make the most impact on, those people that have the least amount down, because they're facing an incredible increase in property values, an incredible increase in cost just to furnish that home once they buy it. So if we can change the trajectory of their life, we know that what we've done every day when we go to work is powerful. It's not just clocking in.
Right.
We're changing lives.
Right. And that's your story. As a realtor, if you have a why as strong as that, which I admire and have taken, I'd steal some things from Nicole here and there. If your why is that strong and you're on an island, there's a problem. So reach out. I would love to connect you with great people. I would suggest that you find your own people, except for Nicole, because building these relationships go beyond just this transaction. It moves further and it changes lives, and we all are in real estate to change lives. I've never heard a realtor that's not like, I'm in it to help people, or I love helping people, or whatever that may be. But have some power between that story, build that brand around it, and you must have top-notch industry partners to do so. So thanks for tuning in. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We'll love to touch base with you. I will put Nicole's information in the comments. The next stage in Ignite is the third Thursday of next month.
It is.
And you should check it out because it's fire.